Village Vic showed very good bumper form in the sort of first 2/3 or so of the season, but was he just a little bit disappointing when you took him to Cheltenham and then on?
Oh, definitely. And in retrospect, after he was just beating a short head in the listed bumper at Newbury, he probably should have finished. But you know, we can always do things in retrospect, can't we? You know, so yeah, he should have finished then. But actually, it's done him no harm. He's fine. He's been, and well, more than fine. He's been working and schooling extremely well. So we hope he's a very nice novice hurdler. Yeah.
And you put him towards the top of your batch of new novice hurdlers for the season?
Well, at the moment, he would probably be likely to be the best, I'd say. But with some of the point-to-pointers and one or two others coming through, you wouldn't be sure. But he could be.
A Chance Du Roy is among the handicap chasers, took very well to the Aintree fences when second into the Topham. So could he be going back for another spin over those Aintree fences?
Very possibly the Sefton Chase at Aintree in December over the national fences, the same trip again, 2 mile 5. That would be quite a likely one, I would have thought. Whether he'll run before, I'm not sure really. He could do, but he does want soft ground, so at least the weather's come right for him.
But certainly that was a career best, so he's still improving, isn't he?
Well, he has been up to then. I keep on thinking the handicap mark is high enough, but now he's off 150. It won't be easy. I mean, the run in Punchtown was very good, and when he fell at Aintree behind Simon Sig, well, he definitely would have been second, but he was travelling very well at the time. He is a high-class horse, but he still needs a bit more education, so he's another one, not sure whether he ought to go chasing just yet.
On the near side by Colour Squadron, in between them is the Digout, and on the inside Rebel Fitz, almost 4 in line, in the centre the Digout and Davy Russell have just taken the advantage. On the near side is Colour Squadron, and up towards the finish, it's a champion ride by the new champion jockey. A great performance by the Digout.
Coming 7. Well, it's not a big problem waiting to the 7-year-old going over fences though, so he's another one to decide which route we take.
So when he was a little bit disappointing at Cheltenham, the big field and everything was all a bit too much for him, was it?
Well, he'd only had about, I think, 4 or 5 runs in his life up to then, and he won his bumper very easily, and then he was in small field novice hurdles, and he'd never been in such a large field going so fast, and the whole thing was just a bit much for him, really. But, you know, he got over that and ran very well at Aintree and Punchtown.
Snap Tie, the leader, chased by Ben Ash over the final flight. Snap Tie was awkward. Ben Ash on the near side is a right chance now, and these two battle with 100 yards to go. Snap Tie, Richard Johnson from Ben Ash on the near side, Andrew McNamara, but it's Snap Tie keeping on strongly. What a training performance by Philip Hobbs. Snap Tie wins it from Ben Ash, clear of Satu. One Cole Sharbury running on.
It must have been fantastic for everyone concerned to see Snap Tie come back from such a long period off the track and win at Punchestown.
Yeah, it was really good, particularly bearing in mind that the ground went soft and we thought he wouldn't even cope with it, you know, and he's won well. It was fantastic, really, at his age. He's had an ongoing suspensory problem, so that's not the main tendon that the horse might really badly break down on, but he's got a grumbling suspensory, which we managed to manage last season, and actually, with the summer off, it's actually got better. So, you know, you'd be hoping that, I'm sure at some stage in his career it's going to cause him problems again, but at the moment it's fine. I would have thought the Greatwood Hurdle is the likely race for him.
And if he were to run well in the Greatwood, could he stay down a hurdling route this season? And then you've always got the option of going back over fences.
Yeah, I mean, he's 10 coming 11, but Sea Pigeon won a champion hurdle, I think, when he was 11. So I wouldn't, I mean, we're dreaming a bit, but I wouldn't totally rule it out because he is a very, very classy horse. I suppose, look, if he gets beaten in the Greatwood Hurdle, then he'll have to go back chasing again. At least he can run in graduation chases because he's won the one chase in his one run over fences, but he's not a novice, so that's difficult.
The Disengager has been very much the star of your summer jumping team.
Yeah, he's been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, to have won 4 this summer and broken the course record at Bangor and Market Raising when he won there, and to win all the prize money he has been fantastic and been great fun for his owners, and you know, hopefully he's not stopped improving yet.
Is it just a question of confidence and getting his jumping together that's helped him to improve? Or
I think so. He's very genuine, but nevertheless his jumping's got better and better, and that's probably been the big help to everything, yeah. And
could he perhaps be a horse for the Paddy Power Gold Cup? Or...
Well, I think that's the route we're likely to take now, because we wanted to go to Cheltenham October meeting, but he was just slightly laying behind for a few days after Market Raising, and it's going to come too soon, really. So maybe that's not a bad thing. Go to the Paddy Power with a without running before, because if he won before, he'd obviously have less chance in it. I don't have anything else obvious for the race at this stage. But he would not want the ground any softer than good to soft.
But the disengager is safely over the last. Armenian Boy is trying again, but the disengager driven out towards the line by Richard Johnson. He's holding on very well here to win it. The disengage.
Now, Sadler's Risk isn't back in the Arctic. He's another one who's due to arrive, I gather, any day now. But we ought to talk about him because he showed very good form in juvenile hurdles, perhaps just falling a little bit behind the very best.
Yeah, he did, but he's a very tough horse, very sound horse, and very good attitude. Everybody says 4-year-old second season difficult to place, which I'm sure is going to be right as well. It won't be easy. They tend to maybe catch up after Christmas, so maybe a big handicap hurdle in the spring is the realistic target. Going novice chasing would be a possibility, but we're nearly getting a little bit late to be, you know, he's not going to be running until November, December. Do you want to be losing a novice tag then? As a 4-year-old obviously gets weight allowance, so I don't know. Options for him, so we'll see how we go. He looks to have grown up and improved from last season, so I certainly hope that he'll progress from what he's done. He's 5, so we might stick to handicap hurdles this season, might go novice chasing, not sure really.
So, you know, again, this may be a horse who's perhaps on quite a good handicap mark, and you could see him doing well in handicaps once he's...
Well, he could well do, because he's certainly improved from last season. I suppose ideally you'd win a novice hurdle in October if it could work out in a race where his handicap mark wouldn't be altered if he doesn't beat horses that are higher rated than him, and then running the handicap hurdle and go from there.
Govain is a newcomer to the yard. He's been around a little bit, but he's quite classy on his day.
Yeah, delighted with him. Lovely horse, you know. He won the Peterborough Chase last season, and he's getting a bit older, but doesn't mean to say that he could still produce his best ability. He's a little bit difficult to place off 159 because he's a little bit in between handicaps and condition races, but I think he'd probably start in the Old Rowan Chase at Aintree and then go from there.
And he seems to run quite well fresh, doesn't he?
Certainly has done in the past, and actually that's the thing we want to make use of really, because we want to make sure he's absolutely spot on first time, because as you rightly say, his best form has been when he's been fresh, so you don't want him going to the races first time needing the run, that's for sure.
Irish Buccaneer is from a family that you know well because you trained the Dam Supreme Serenade, doing plenty of races.
Yeah, and the Dam's brother Supreme Prince, who was very good too. So yes, we've had the family for a bit, and he's just run once and won his bumper at Chep, so I'd imagine he starts straight over hurdles. There's probably no point in running a bumper again. But yeah, a nice horse that should do well. He arrived here in, I think, March time, and we were maybe going to run him in the spring, but he'd run up a bit light, so we ended up giving him the summer off. He had 2 runs over hurdles in Ireland. He won a novice hurdle, was second in the other one. Very much a potential chaser, but he'll start in a handicap hurdle somewhere and go from there.
Salter Sunrise is a dark horse in that he's come over here just as the winner of one Irish point to point, but he looks a very promising individual. Yeah,
he won his point to point very well. He's got a lovely, straightforward temperament, really nice horse to deal with. I mean, obviously he's only won a point to point. You wouldn't know what level he's going to be competing at, and as yet he hasn't even had a serious gallop. But you know, very nice sort.
Talk on the Street. He's another one who you say has done well physically over the summer.
Very much so, yeah. He was a bit weak last year and still ran very well. I mean, good runs, but a horse that hopefully, from what we've seen, should improve, and he'll run at Cheltenham the October meeting.
And that's over hurdles, first time out, is it?
Yeah,
and then you'll
3 mile
decide
novice hurdle. Then decide
whether
what to do. Again, he's a 5-year-old, could go the chasing route, could stay over hurdles. We'll decide near the time.
Cheltenham, we didn't see last season because of a tendon injury, and I gather he's due back in the yard any day now.
Yeah, he'll be back fairly soon, but until he's back, we haven't made any plan at all. It's set probably Cheltenham in March and work back, realistically. He's got plenty of pace, I would have thought, start in 2 mile novice hurdles and go from there. He's definitely been an improver, and 2 miles seems to be his trip. He could definitely win more hurdle races, but if he does go novice chasing this season, now that he's a 6-year-old, he wants to start sooner rather than later, so not sure which route we'll take at this stage. We're probably going to school over fences first, then decide what we do.